Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Well, after 6 months of, I guess you can now say, pretending to be a woman, Josh Saiter, who I dubbed the new Dylan Mulvaney, or it wasn't just me that dubbed Josh the new Dylan Mulvaney, so many other people did as well. And turns out that Josh Saiter is a genius of sorts. This was actually a social experiment. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? His transition wasn't actually real because now Josh is coming out saying, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I was doing a major social experiment to prove just how ridiculous this entire transgender nonsense actually is. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, now Josh Saiter is under a great deal of fire. Why? From the transgender community, because it's one thing you're not allowed to do is you're not allowed to appropriate being something you're not, which is exactly what they're doing. They can't see the irony or the actual insanity of them going after Josh when they're the ones that are actually the major issue here. But hey, far be it from me to actually reveal the truth to each and every one of you. Now, I made several videos, as you guys are more than likely aware, about the new Dylan Mulvaney, Josh Saiter, and the transition. And look, not going to lie, there were a couple of moments where Josh had convinced me somewhat that he had decided to transition. He was very, very convincing, except there were a couple of times where I'm going, this can't be real, can it? Like, it just seems like a major parody to me. And lo and behold, Josh has now come out and said, for the last 6 months, I have been showing you all exactly how ridiculous and delulu all of this stuff really is. Fantastic. So have a watch of Josh actually talking about how this is just
thought of themselves being women. And I think a lot of trans women are turned on at the thought of themselves being women. Guess what? It doesn't magically make them women. It doesn't mean we have to accept that they're women. They are simply men turned on at the thought of themselves being women. That's great. We live in a free country. You can do whatever you want, but don't make your fetish my truth. I don't have to accept it. To go to the second part of your question, how did I come up with this? I was talking with some friends and we said this is patently false. Men do not magically become women. I said let's look at the medical literature and what it says. It says that trans people don't have to transition, don't have to have gender dysphoria, don't have to get surgery, and don't have to get hormones. If they feel they are a different gender than their bio sex, then they are trans and they are valid. And I said, understandably, this is ridiculous. Then I can present exactly how I am, and I can be trans and valid if I say that's my gender identity. And so I said, let me prove how ridiculous this is using reductio ad absurdum by being trans for 5-6 months, and hopefully people will understand then how ridiculous this is.
I definitely understand how ridiculous it is, but
when Josh was doing the voice, I found it really unbearable. Not going to lie, I found it unbearable. And then there was also a photo of Josh where someone thought they caught him out pretending and faking. And that's where everyone's going, yeah, we 100% know that he's actually faking this. If you were living in the reality world, let's just use that terminology. So if you were paying attention to what Josh was doing, then you would definitely know that he was actually faking it. It's not real. And he pointed out in this video quite brilliantly, in fact, don't make me accept your truth. You've got your own truth. Fantastic. You live your own truth. Don't force that onto anybody else. We don't want to have to listen or abide by what you want to happen because you are a man that gets turned on by being a woman. Doesn't make you actually a woman. That is, according to science, reason, rationale, reality, everything that we all know to love and to appreciate in the sane world. I love living insanity. Thank you very much. And Josh was just pointing out how all of this can quite easily prove how dumb it really is. Like, if someone can just go one day, wake up, have a hairy chest, be incredibly buff, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now a woman. Guess what? Right now, I'm going to start identifying as being a woman. You guys are going to have to believe me. You guys are going to have to call me Miss J because I want it. Do you know how it's ridiculous is what it is? Ridiculous. But Josh just proved it. And he did a fantastic job at it. So Josh actually goes on Twitter and the D word, T word together, DEATH, from the woke have begun, because they cannot stand someone like Josh making a mockery out of what they're actually doing, which is making a mockery and trying to parody that of women. And they're failing to do it. Josh failed to do it, but he seemingly convinced a lot of people in the process of his transition, right? So Ollie London goes, reality star Josh Saiter has revealed his 6-month transition to become a trans woman was fake and part of a social experiment to expose the ridiculousness of gender ideology movement. What's your reaction? Bravo, son. Bravo. Sal Grover goes, a guy pretended to be a trans woman for 6 months to show people how ridiculous it is that anyone would think a man can be a woman at all. If you're still not convinced, think of it this way. Would you have supported him going into a woman-only space last week, but not this week? More than likely. I think a lot of people would have gone, oh, for sure. Please, enter into the female bathroom. You are a woman. I adore you, woman. But now, no. You get lost. Get away. Don't come into my space. Amazing how this all works, doesn't it? Human beings are interesting creatures. I will say that much. Highly, highly interesting. To prove how we need a lot of help, Josh set out on this 6-month experiment. And yes, I will admit again that he almost got me. He almost got me. That's how convincing he really was. But that's also how nuts everything else is, right? Like, if you think about it and you put it into perspective, there are so many other people that are doing exactly what Josh did. They're committing to a role. They're playing a role, all to fit with their fantasy. They love their fantasy at the expense of real women. Because you know what? It's absurd. It's absurd to think that a man can go, I am a woman and you, the woman, must respect me. Unbelievable. Well done, Josh. Bravo, mate. And yeah, honestly, just goes to show how gullible a lot of people are, including myself for some moments. Just moments, not the whole thing, but just a few moments. Okay. Anyway, my friends, you guys take care. You be blessed. And I'll see you all in the next video.